This is a unique first. The first graduate who is now going to be sworn in as a member of the Washington State Bar.
It really felt like this is something that I could do in some way that I can help, and so it was just kind of a no-brainer.
He's got this second chance on life, and so now we're just ready to conquer the world.
I was in the middle of a golf swing where it decided to stop beating.
I saw a man that he needed help, and I knew I had to do something.
It can be difficult to filter out the bleak stories we hear about almost daily, but if you take time to look, there are a lot of people doing good in the world, like an 81-year-old volunteer who serves as an inspiration, or a golfer who performed life-saving CPR. I'm King 5's Pierce County Bureau Chief Connor Board. Join us as we take a look back at the positive stories from 2024 and the people behind them.
Otis.
There's a big angel.
Oh my God.
Big angel right there.
How are you, man? Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's the first time face-to-face in weeks.
Oh God, good to be here.
After a split-second decision saved a life.
Appreciate it. Everything you did.
For Otis Ulrich.
God put me there to help you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Chris Honingford. It all unfolded during a game of golf.
It was August 20th, and it's a Tuesday morning.
It's a day Chris doesn't remember, and one Otis will never forget.
I saw a man that he needed help, and I knew I had to do something.
Chris, who was recently diagnosed with AFib, collapsed.
The heart just, when you have AFib, it beats really fast or really slow. Well, it got to the point where it decided to stop beating. And I was in the middle of a golf swing on the third hole, from what I was told.
So I immediately started doing CPR. My main concern was that time that's keep a rhythm going in his heart to try to keep blood going to his brain, because I knew then that he probably had a heart attack and there could be some brain damage if I didn't do what I was doing.
He says he kept going for 15 minutes.
I just kept doing CPR until the medic got there and took over the situation.
Chris was rushed to the hospital.
I just want to make sure he was okay.
And for Otis, what followed were sleepless nights.
Make sure I had done things right.
Until Chris was well enough to see visitors.
I don't think words can express how grateful one can be that they literally saved your life. There's no greater calling. There's no greater thing that you can do for a human being.
Fortunately, I was trained in CPR about 50 years ago. Never had to use it, and for some reason, it all just came back to me. I just reacted.
I do fully understand I've been given a new lease on life.
And he has a new mission, to learn CPR himself and share the message.
It's absolutely necessary.
Get out and learn CPR, because you never know when it's going to come in handy.
You did what you had to do, brother. You did.
Chris's road to recovery includes this reunion.
So every second counted, and you're still with us, brother.
I believe the part that I was found in the rough, but I know my ball was in the fairway. That's just all I know.
In his 26 years working on board Washington State ferries, Captain Noah Lando says he can sense when something is not right.
I could tell something was wrong. We weren't going to leave until we figured it out.
Tuesday, just as they were about to pull away from Lopez Island due for Anacortes, word spread that a woman on board was going into labor.
In my experience, almost always people come forth, doctors, nurses, EMTs, and then the crew. They just knew without being told to start moving cars around to make a space for the ambulance to back down.
But before rescue crews arrived, this baby had already been born. Arlo Trey Mack, 7 pounds, 1 ounce. Birthplace, Washington State Ferry. Welcome news announced over the ship's PA system.
She said, baby boy has just been born. And then there was just this loud cheer went up.
Ready?
Anita Sunderland makes sure all who need it are given their daily bread at the Snohomish Community Food Bank.
We all have people who need bread, and who need food.
The food bank is seeing needs rise nearly every month. Snohomish feeds 800 to 1,000 people every week. That's up 15% over the past 6 months alone. The place survives on volunteers, and right now, they're down about 10 positions.
It's a lot of work sometimes.
At 81 years old, Anita joyously volunteers here every single Monday.
Which is kind of nice. You feel like you're doing something good.
Getting ready for the week's food distributions, the retired nurse of 4 decades has done this every week for the past 4 years.
I just felt like I need to do something for other people.
Anita serves as an inspiration here, an inspiration that's desperately needed across the country. Volunteerism in America has actually been declining for more than a decade, and as the numbers continue to drop, the need continues to grow. Washington's biggest hunger relief agency, Northwest Harvest, reports a 75% decrease in volunteers since the pandemic. The belief is high prices have people working more just to keep their heads above water, leaving them less time to help others.
If you work, we try to, find something we have things on the weekends, we have things after hours. We try to find room for anybody that wants to volunteer here. It can be an hour a week and we have a spot for you.
I do the food bank every Monday morning.
Anita encourages her friends at Brookdale Assisted Living to help out if they can. But even at 81, she realizes not everyone is as spry and motivated as her.
Kind of keeps us out of trouble.
In her mind, if you have anything at all to give, you have much more than so many others.
They cannot afford to go to the grocery store, so they can come here, and there's bread here for them, and they don't have to pay for it. I mean, how much better could that be? We're always ready for volunteers.
After the break, sometimes being a hero can mean making sacrifices that may mean putting your own life in danger.
When I see this, I'm just lost for words.
David Matare is still processing the trauma of one night last May.
Yeah. No, we're all here.
David had just come on duty for his night shift as a caregiver at this Lake Forest Park group home. 4 people with developmental disabilities were asleep inside when fire broke out in the middle of the night.
At that point is when I had some creaking sounds.
The creaking he thought he heard was actually the crackling of flames coming into the house, then exploding through a glass door.
Like a ball of fire came like a bomb at me.
David had to kick in the residents' doors to rouse them and get them to safety as the fire quickly spread. At one point, David was forced from the home by overwhelming smoke and flames.
At this moment, it felt like the whole house is going to come down.
As neighbors called 911, David went back inside the house 4 times to rescue all 4 residents, all of whom were confused and disoriented.
I'm happy I was there. I'm happy it was me that I was here, and I made the decision and I was able to get them out, and they're all out. Yeah.
Fire officials tell us the fire was accidental, but its official cause is still undetermined. And they say that if just a few more minutes had passed before David's heroics, people certainly would have died.
So this is a window where I was banging when I was trying to get the fourth guy out.
David is an immigrant from Kenya, where candles and kerosene are often used for light and often result in deadly fires. He's experienced it himself.
And there's nothing sad as I was remembering or having memories of people burning.
That, he says, is what inspired him to risk his own life over and over to get those vulnerable people out.
There are 4 adults with developmental disability, and I had to get them out.
David was recently given a statewide award for heroism through his work with Ambitions of Washington and Alpha Supported Living Services. A husband and father of 3, David says he considers all of those in his care family, and he wouldn't hesitate to do it all over again.
I'll always remember it. This is something that will carry with me forever. And it's my wish that it never happens again.
Before Vinny Storelli was even born, a scan showed something was wrong with his liver.
Biliary atresia often results in liver transplants, and if it's not done, it can be, fatal.
60% of all liver transplants needed in the country are in kids under 5. According to Seattle Children's Hospital, the highest rate of death is in infants.
Unfortunately, 10% of infants die on the wait list in America. So we do everything that we can to advocate for patients.
Biliary atresia is a liver condition that occurs when a baby's bile ducts don't form normally and is unable to drain. Vinny needed a liver transplant to live.
I've been doing really well. Yeah, recovery has been great.
This is 19-year-old Nikki. Her donor test matched with Vinny.
So it just really felt like this is something that I could do in some way that I can help. And so it was just kind of a no-brainer.
Nikki's procedure was at UW's Medical Center while Vinny was treated at Seattle Children's. It's the only pediatric liver transplant program in the Northwest. After her smooth recovery, she's now back in California for her sophomore year in college.
If a person donates to a baby, they're only giving 20% of their liver, and so it can grow back within weeks to months.
Families come from hundreds, even thousands of miles away to Seattle so their children can get life-saving treatment, including Vinny from Oregon City. They spent weeks, sometimes months, away from the rest of the family.
We were in and out of the ER many times, and it got to the point where it just didn't feel like it was a safe enough option to go home.
Vinny's now 18 months old. He's happy and energetic. Nikki hopes more people choose to get tested to become living organ donors.
He's my guy. We're gonna be besties forever now. He's stuck with me.
His liver has been doing totally fine since then. I think that you were made for him.
This was Cody Nagel then. She started using drugs and alcohol at age 14. Over the years, she racked up 20 arrests, 2 felony convictions, 4 misdemeanor convictions, and 2 gross misdemeanor convictions, all related to drug use and possession.
It's a lot better than my mugshot, huh?
We could do a before and after.
Yeah.
This is Cody now, taking a photo with an officer who once put her in handcuffs. At age 38, she's nearing 12 years of recovery, and she's moving back to Washington State as an attorney.
I love you guys. Love you.
That's Cody's family. They're proudly watching from D.C. as she's sworn into the Washington Bar Association inside a Pierce County Superior Courtroom. Cody attended classes through the Syracuse University College of Law hybrid program while raising her kids. Her husband was stationed at Naval Station Norfolk for much of that time. She's also a public engagement advisor at the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy.
But this is a unique first for us. The first graduate who is now going to be sworn in as a member of the Washington State Bar.
Family and friends gathered for the big moment. One retired officer from her past who attended says Cody's turnaround is one of the best things he'll ever see happen.
And the next time I arrested her, I told her, I said, you know, it really bothered me to see you going down this path, and I don't feel this way about everybody. I'm really scared for you out here. And I think I was just real with her, and maybe some of that sunk in.
Well, apparently, yeah.
I have a lot of bad stories.
Yeah.
This is my best good story.
But you persevered and you've done it.
Pierce County Judge Ed Murphy remembers hitting the gavel multiple times while Cody worked through the felony drug court system.
Or oppress.
Now, he's reading her the Bar Association oath.
Or delay unjustly the cause of any person.
Congratulations.
Cody shared her gratitude for this moment while remembering the drug court counselor who finally got through to her.
I think it took somebody being like, you just have to do it. At some point, you're gonna die, you're gonna go to prison. Those are your options, or you're gonna get well. And I trusted her. It's possible for anybody. So, thank you.
After the break, good news comes in all forms, like an Edmonds man who transformed his parents' backyard into a ball field.
That ball's in play past the pitcher, Alex Harden coming up to it, and that'll be an RBI single there for Aaron Schofield. We're in Edmonds, Washington, in my parents' backyard. That ball is going back, and that's out of here. Thomas Blehaus, 2-run shot. We just started playing in the backyard June of 2020, and it kind of took off since then.
Twice a week for 6 months, the Blehaus house becomes the home field of the AWA. So how do Jack's parents feel about their backyard takeover?
I thought that they wouldn't, be on board, but honestly, I think my dad is probably the biggest supporter for it. Most backyards just aren't really being used, and every Monday, Wednesday, he's got a bunch of random dudes coming over to play wiffle ball.
This isn't just any neighborhood game. It's an entire production with multi-angled cameras, a play-by-play booth, producers, and a technical director. It's no surprise they're reaching a massive audience.
At least we can breathe some air, which is nice. And you get some of the crowd noise and stuff. Yeah. It definitely makes it special, for sure.
I mean, we've got almost 2 million followers across socials now. I think we've got a little over 1 billion views total in 4 years now since we've been doing it, so it's getting up there. That ball's going back, and Anthony Kodama makes an impressive play.
So what's the draw?
I honestly don't know. We just keep posting videos.
That ball is going back, and that is off the wall.
And then when you see, people like us taking it this seriously, maybe that's kind of a draw.
While at its core, it's primarily a way for Bleyhouse and his boys to blow off some steam. The commissioner is still always thinking of ways to grow the game.
There's like a lot of kind of ideas that I have, for instance, like a wiffle bar, something like that, where you could, play games not in your parents' backyard, maybe sell some tickets. But it's really just day by day, and it surprises me every time we go live. Knuckle got him strike 3, and that'll end the game.
No matter how young or old you are, or how open your heart is, love is in the air, even here at Brookdale Senior Living.
Valentine love for our lovely Galentines.
For one of the resident couples here, love lasts beyond today.
Yeah, right. Let me have your hand.
Bill and Norma count more than days, years, and even decades of marriage.
It's 65.
65
or 64 celebrations.
They're in their 80s now and met as teenagers. His first reaction to her.
I thought she was gorgeous and tall, and I was really excited.
And hers on the same page.
I felt good that I wasn't taller than him.
Now, after 65 years married, 2 kids and 3 grandkids.
And the more we love each other, the more love there is. It grows.
That early feeling of pure bliss continues.
We honor our relationship. We wake up, we're friends.
Okay, yeah, automatically, right.
Yeah. We're old friends. Now I feel like crying.
They say treating each other as equals and keeping a sense of adventure has been key. Husband and wife, best friends for 65 years.
I just think she's lovely. I don't know. That's what I first thought when I first saw her.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you. Okay.
Love not just today,
Bill,
but every day.
Loves Norma. Norma loves Bill.
For 65 years.
Okay, let's read.
And counting.
Happy Valentine's Day.
A workshop in Washougal serves as a sanctuary for John Furness.
I'm always in my mind.
It's where he finds healing.
I create my world through my imagination.
It's the creativity he counts on after almost losing everything he had.
It's been quite the incredible journey. I started fine woodworking after I was blind.
After everything changed.
I'll take those little bits of design, transform it in my mind. I'll make the curve a little bit deeper. I'll make the bowl a little rounder. And then when I see it in my mind, I match what I feel to what I see in my mind.
He's amazing, the fact that he can make these incredible pieces without any sight.
Woodworking is the craft that gave him a new path, taking him far away from one of his darkest days.
When I was 16, bottled up emotions, they came to a head, and I decided I didn't want to be on the earth anymore. So I attempted suicide. Whether it was providence, luck, or whatever you want to call it, my mind and my body were left completely intact other than my sight and sense of smell being taken.
What happened long ago?
John, I'm so grateful he's still here.
Lingers for Annie. She's an artist who remembers their chance meeting in July of 2012.
Where they were bringing in volunteer artists to paint pianos for a fundraiser.
So I walk into the room, and like an iron bar to a magnet, hand in the paint.
All of a sudden, I hear, oops, and I look up. It was John, and he had these amazing dimples.
They're my charmers.
His eyes were closed, and I was like, okay, he's blind. We laughed. But that's how we met.
In the conversations that followed, they found out they have something in common.
We started talking about our stories with our struggles with mental health that really brought us together.
They bonded over art, using it as a therapeutic tool.
He used woodworking as a way to focus away from the depression and the anxiety, the struggles that he had, just like I did with painting.
There was the depression and the disabilities. For Annie, it's a chronic illness.
Was diagnosed with a hypermobility condition. That has really changed my life in a lot of negative ways because I lost an incredible amount of mobility over the last few years. John is the one that has been there for me.
We fill each other in where the other person is missing.
You know, I always say, John is my legs and my muscle, and I am John's eyes.
It's a partnership that led to a proposal.
We got married in September of 2015.
I've rarely come across a relationship like ours that we just are truly devoted to each other.
They found peace, purpose, and a platform.
This is my husband, John, and he is totally blind.
With social media posts about second chances.
In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, there are stories that stand as beacons of hope.
Now they're sharing their message about mental health in a new book.
The Blind Woodsman. Mental health is no different than the health of your heart or your lungs or your joints. I had something to offer through my story.
I mean, people have even said that John sharing his story has literally saved their life.
And there's one that I will never forget, and it was this girl that her father had killed himself. And she said that my story helped her, it helped her understand why. It helped her accept it.
If there was even just one person that he did that for, it would be all worth it. He is the most gentle, loving, kind person that I know. Everyone needs to know his story, and he can't tell it on his own. And so I am honored to be able to tell that for him. He can't see with his eyes, but he sees with his mind and his heart.
I like to say that I lost my sight and I gained my vision.
From John's workshop to Annie's art studio, the couple combining their talents, conquering obstacles, a testament to their story.
It's like the best love story.
I hope it can give people hope that there is light on the other side of darkness.
Thank you for joining us on this look back at some of our more heartwarming stories from 2024. As we enter this new year, remember to continue to be kind to one another. In Tacoma, Connor Board, King 5 News.